We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
Nosotros crecemos cuando damos.
We grow when we give.
与えるとき成長する。
We grow when we give.
Welcome to ROG, Return on Generosity, a podcast celebrating generosity at work. Not financial giving, giving valuable time, alternative perspectives, and genuine collaboration.
Welcome to ROG. This is part 5 of a 6-part series on working genius. Work is a broad term that applies to almost every part of our lives, even beyond what we formally refer to as jobs. The majority of our waking hours involve some kind of work. The Table Group, founded by Pat Lencioni, discovered that there are 6 types of work. These 6 are required whether you're working on launching a product, organizing a nonprofit, or planning a vacation. The Working Genius model explains the 6 types of work and the order of those stages. Each of us have a God-given ability to get joy and energy from 2 of those types of work. And because we love that kind of work, we usually gravitate toward it and are pretty good at it. Our special guest today is Julie Dobbins, Director of Operations at the Table Group. Today we're going to focus on the genius of enabling. Welcome to ROG, Julie.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this genius. This is a genius where people are providing encouragement and assistance for an idea or a project. How else would you describe the genius of enabling?
Yeah, so the genius of enablement is really about being able to anticipate needs, coming alongside, whether it's the team or the plan, the project, to really get things off the ground, to get things moving, and to help make things happen.
That's awesome. So enablement, this is how we are getting things done. We're supporting people. Mm-hmm. Then you're just saying how we make things happen. So What would that look like on a team? So if somebody has enablement and that shows up in what way?
Yeah. So this can be, something where like, hey, we've got a plan or a project and we're kind of cascading. Hey, here's what we think we're going to do. Usually people with the genius of enablement, they're already thinking, how can I help? Right. So they're either asking, how can I help make that happen? Or like I said earlier, just they kind of anticipate the needs of, okay, I think we might need to do this next, or can I come alongside you and be a part of this? And so whether it's that, kind of asking or offering to be a part of something. But I think the other dynamic is that they definitely are able to think through a little bit of like what needs to happen to make this happen. Another dynamic that I think happens when you have people with enablement on your team is that you're able to see that there's a camaraderie, right? So when teams don't have enablement, it can feel like we're kind of operating in silos, right? Everybody just has their head down getting things done. But when you have enablement on a team, people don't feel alone. They don't feel forgotten. They don't feel like they're having to go through the trenches solo. There's people coming alongside who are checking in, offering to help, and really creating that dynamic on a team.
Oh, that's beautiful. So if somebody has enablement as one of their frustrations, so it's their number 5 or 6 and they're working genius, what would that feel like for them?
Yeah. So people who don't have the genius of enablement, I have it as a competency. I don't have it as a frustration, but my first instinct is not to say, how can I help you? That is, I'm not thinking I want to come alongside. I'm not thinking I would love to be a part of that. That's just not going to be a natural instinct. And so that's going to be something to be kind of conscious of, like, okay, whether it's I'm a leader, how do I come alongside people and either anticipate their needs or ask what they need? How do I offer that up? Those are things that if you don't have it, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to think, okay, what is that going to look like to help others around me be successful? But it can also be something where if it's your area of frustration, be able to talk about that openly, right? Make this a part of the conversation of, I know this isn't natural for me, so I would love for you to let me know when you need something, because I want to be able to be a part of that. So just making it discussable is going to be important.
Oh my gosh, that's so good, right? For any of these geniuses, if we have that in our area of frustration, to do something exactly like what you just said, which is invite people to make us aware of when we need to demonstrate that genius, even if it's not going to bring us the ultimate joy and fulfillment, but it's still something that we can contribute when needed. Yeah, that's so helpful, especially for this one, because I'm thinking of for people leaders, if they're not, let's just say enablement is in their area of frustration and they aren't naturally setting up one-on-ones or offering coaching or giving support and feedback.
Exactly.
right? But they know that that's important, so they need to co-create that with their team. So for individuals who have this genius, what might they need to be conscientious about for those who don't have it?
Yeah. So for people who don't, or people who have it, and you might be around, others who don't have it, one thing that I would say is, don't overcommit, because we can sometimes fill everybody else's gap, with our area of genius, and you are going to get energy from that, and it is fulfilling. But there's going to be times where you might focus so much on the people around you and everybody being successful that you've either overcommitted, or another dynamic that can happen is if you're just focused on the people or on the needs, is sometimes it's going to be important to really be able to say, okay, did we actually are we doing the right thing, right? So don't help around things that maybe you haven't asked, hey, why are we doing this? Or sometimes it's like, okay, well, we're so concerned with the people around us that we're not moving things across the finish line because we are, focused a little bit more on the people or the needs. And so you don't want to over-index, either way. And this is where, all the geniuses work together. And so each stage is important to inform the one before it and the one after it. And so, that obviously applies to all of them, but definitely for enablement, that would be a dynamic that I would pay attention to.
Oh, such good coaching. So for those who are listening who have the genius of enablement, we encourage you to continue to respond to the needs of others, offer your help, support, and coaching and encouragement, and to know when to say when or when to say no.
Yes.
That not every problem is one that you need to solve, that your kindness is appreciated, but you need to have boundaries.
Yes. As someone with enablement, you can say that.
Yes, totally. I own that. Well, thank you for joining us, Julie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to ROG, Return on Generosity podcast. Please help us grow by subscribing and reviewing us on your favorite podcast player. And for more information, visit bridgebetween.com. We grow when we give.
우리는 나누면서 성숙합니다.
We grow when we give.
On rayonne quand on donne.
We grow when we give.